Yo, it's Bunny Mike Game here. I got a pipe issue. I'm looking to see if maybe I can get some hydroponics going.
We ready? All right. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Yes. It's Ramon Reyes, co-founder and creator of Happy Munkey. Yes. On the right, y'all know we got Vlad, and today we got a guest. And we've been keeping it uptown lately, right now. So right now, this is kind of like a good, another special one. Because I'm always going to say it's special because I feel like everybody who come here is special. But this one, I think is going to give a lot of people some sort of perspective on what Uptown is, right? I feel like people kind of always get stuck on what Washington Heights
so many
and Harlem,
layers.
They just think
people got caught. It's multifaceted.
Yeah, and the red zone, in that red zone era, right? From 135th all the way to Dykeman, I think people kind of still feel like this was like a big drug area because it was, and it is. But it's way much more than that, right? There's a lot of art, there's a lot of smart geniuses in our fucking neighborhood. There's people that are very, very talented. And this guy right here is the person who's been highlighting this for a very long time. All the aspects of Uptown that we got.
He's like a Uptown historian.
Like an Uptown historian, you know what I mean? Because he's been documenting what's been happening as far as culture, right? Not just Dominican culture, just Uptown. Culture. Because Uptown, we have all sorts of people. It's mainly Dominican, but there is Irish,
right,
Greek,
everything, right,
Jewish, Black. It's all of us, right? So this man right here has been documenting the Uptown for a very long time.
He's like the Uptown social studies class.
There you go, man. Ladies and gentlemen, Led Black from Uptown Collective, man.
What up, y'all? What up?
Yes.
That was an amazing introduction. It's an honor, you know what I'm saying? The feeling is mutual. You know, I think from the very beginning, I feel like I was at the very beginning of what y'all was doing.
Absolutely.
That first year, I was
one of the
introduced
first
to y'all.
guys I invited. Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's been beautiful to see the growth. You know, I knew it was always there. You know, I knew that y'all were gonna take it somewhere. But from the beginning, there was something special. So I'm honored to be here.
Nah, it's a pleasure to have you, man. You know, it's you're entrepreneur, historian, and all of the above, right? So I'm just glad to kind of like now give our people more of a perspective on where we come from.
And, you know, it's just that me, myself, since I met you, Led, just watching, you know, Uptown Collective and just watching you have learned so much, like Ramon said, about the history and the geography of Washington Heights, Inwood, and all the things that have happened and how we got to the way we are and how, you know, all these different people have played different roles in making that such a special place. So we're going to get deeper into that. First, I want to give the people some updates.
Let's do it.
First of all, I want to say, if you ever wanted to be part of an emerging industry, you wanted to be part of an emerging brand that's more than a brand, that's a movement also, and you really want to, you know, be part of something that is, you know, gonna basically, you know, change the way that people look at a whole substance.
Be a part of
industry,
history, baby.
You need to go to the bio, send your info. We're looking for ambitious, talented people that care about this plan in this community.
Absolutely. We're looking for all types of folks too, right? Yes, there's a lot of people that we do want to hire, but also, like, again, like I was telling you earlier, you know, you into art, you paint. Are you an influencer? Do you sing? You know, you got some sort of talent that you're trying to highlight. You know what I mean? Do we want to be working with you? You know what I mean? But you have to be Uptown, because I'm looking for specifically Uptown talented folks. So that's what we kind of looking for to work in the next couple months, the summer. I think we gonna have a good time, everybody. Definitely get in contact with us. Let's do it.
Another thing I always mention, Ramon knows, the energy to win. Y'all give me the energy to win. Keep on sending those voicemails. Go to happy.com. That shit keeps us going, helps us understand that we are, you know, feeding the community with good information and we're spreading good vibes. So please keep on calling the hotline.
Absolutely.
Send them those positive vibes. We need that.
Send in those art pieces too, man. Shout out to Uncut, who always showing us love. Shout out to RJ. You know, anybody who wanted to send us art, we love it. We will definitely highlight you. Also, let's not forget this episode. For the first time, we got the Munchies sponsors. Everybody, come on! We stepping it up, y'all. We stepping it up. Shout out to Chip Cities. We got the stupid Munchies, and we definitely gonna be eating and tasting it along the way. So yeah, shout out to them. Let's do it.
I want to give a special shout out to the merchandise team, director, Mr. David Hernandez, and Squad, and Vanessa, and Jordan, everybody, because they've been doing an amazing job. Look out for them popping up in a neighborhood near you.
Oh, yeah, we out here doing pop-ups.
Thank y'all for supporting, you know what I mean, copping out. We appreciate you. Definitely use the code LISTEN so you get 20% off. Tell them Vlad sent you. And now let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a good one. Like I said, you know, my brother Led, I just learned so much about the history and how it shaped. Because, you know, you never realize things when you're in them, right, Led? And we just grew up there. So we just, you know, like, well, we got born in this, how it happened. But all these events shaped what Uptown is. So I want to start with one that I know really shifted the way that Uptown was looked at and shifted the whole paradigm up there, which was 92, the riots, what happened to Kiko, all that stuff. I want to start from there because I think that people just think that this neighborhood just magically became, and it's just, but there was so many trials and tribulations to get here. And I think that that's why I call you the Uptown social studies teacher, because people need to understand what it took for it to be what it is today.
Well, first start with telling people what happened, right? What was, because there was a riot that happened uptown, and we want to let's let people know what it was.
So a lot of people don't remember, in that era we used to have locomotion, right? Locomotion was these very aggressive cops, quasi-legal maneuvers, you know what I'm saying? They would snatch you up, plain clothes. They were super dirty. Like they would take your drugs, you know what I'm saying, let you go. And they were roaming uptown, especially, you know what I'm saying? And so you already had this kind of pressure in our community. Again, we have to be real that it was bad on both sides, meaning the drug dealers were out of control and the cops were out of control. It was money everywhere. There was millions of dollars streaming on every block.
Yes.
Not just on every block.
Yeah, every block.
You know, I remember one time I was on 192nd and St. Nick, and there was a raid, and my man's throwing money out the window. You know what I'm saying? So there was so much money. Crazy. So it was a kind of there was lawlessness in a lot of ways, because the cops were making money off of drugs and drug dealers were making money off of drugs.
But New York was a little bit of a lawless place.
It was Gotham City, definitely Gotham City.
It feels like it's getting there too right now. Like, if I'm being honest, it feels reminiscent of that era. You know what I'm saying?
I don't want to get too deep into that hole, but during the pandemic, I say this all the time. David's generation and the generation before him were really, they were burning down cop cars. All right, let's be real. Like, you burning down cop cars right now during the pandemic. That's like a whole different level of craziness, shit, right? But okay, let's get back to 92.
Kiko Garcia was a Dominican guy, you know, straight from the Yacht, and basically he was murdered, you know, in his building, and
by cops, by locomotion,
by cops, and the cop got away with it. Blatantly killed him, and that sparked the riots. And it was funny because I was a kid at the time.
Didn't he get thrown off the roof or something like that?
No, that was somebody else that got thrown. It was a scuffle in the front of the building, and he got shot.
Wow.
And what was crazy is at that time, like, another thing that people don't realize is that, and that's one of the reasons I share, is that when we were growing up, especially in the Heights, I grew up 192nd in Wadsworth. I didn't go past 181st.
Yeah, that's it. That was your area. I didn't go down to Dykeman. That's it. That was your area.
Dykeman didn't come to my block, and people from 181st didn't come up here. No. Unless you knew someone, you wasn't just roaming.
No, you visited someone specifically.
You needed a pass.
You visited your aunt. You visited your cousin who was from that block.
You needed a pass to go out of bounds.
Yeah, you needed a pass. So people don't really realize that. But I remember the day I came out. It was like July 1992, July 3rd. And when I came out the train on 181st, it was bugged out. But the other thing is, if you grew up in the hood, from the hood, you almost have like a sixth sense. You know what I'm saying? You feel it with, like,
you know what we call it in my hood? The spider senses.
You do. You kind of feel it. You're so in tune.
The energy change. Yeah, you know something just happened.
That community, into that you feel it. And I remember feeling like, yo, something was drawing me to 163rd. Now, I never went to 163rd. People that know 163rd is the realest spot in Washington Heights.
Especially back then.
Especially back then.
1,000 dudes outside.
1,000 dudes. They were, yo, you want drugs? They would tell you if you're in a car, right? Like, so I never went to 163rd, but that day I felt compelled, and I just started walking. And when I got there, yo, the Tigres are running off the cops, man. The cops were running, you know what I'm saying? Like that was really happening, you know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
That first day. And then as I walked back to my hood, you start seeing shit catching fire.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Man.
But what was interesting, it was the first time that we showed each other solidarity. Like, we were mostly Dominican, but we didn't really show each other love.
Right.
I couldn't go to your block, you couldn't go to my block.
It was real, like, it was like real territorial.
It was super territorial.
It was.
But that was the first day I was like,
it was more about your block and your neighborhood than if we both Dominican back then.
Exactly. It didn't matter because we were mostly all Dominican. It was just where you were from, what block you from, who you rap, who's your brother. You know what I'm saying? All that shit mattered in a different way.
It did.
You know what I'm saying? But that was the day that it was like I felt like there was unity there. That we all say, oh, we have a common enemy. You know what I'm saying? And in a lot of ways, that changed the neighborhood, I think, for the better. Right? Because shit was so out of fucking control that was the people, like, remember, if you remember, Giuliani said we should drop a bomb in Washington Heights.
Yo, Giuliani.
That's wild. A bomb on people, you know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
And that changed everything. I think that's when you first start seeing Dominican political power coming along, Espaillat, Ferrer, that's when they started noticing, because people realized, yo, this is a powder keg.
Yeah.
And you can't just do whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? But again, everything was out of control. There was so much drug money, so many people. Crack epidemic. Remember what crack was? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that shit was wild. You know what I'm saying? It was a wild era. And I think it was that culminated, and it took the neighborhood from like, yo, let's, not that everything changed overnight, but people I think realized, yo, like, it can't go on like this.
No, listen to me, man. I was really young. I was like 10 years old, right? I was born in 82. I remember looking out my window. I remember helicopters. I'm in 139.
Yeah.
Helicopters passing by, paddy wagons with the tape because they scared they're gonna break it. The dudes like Civil War, like shooting at the helicopters, shooting at the cops.
It was wild.
Wild.
Yeah, I remember this dude. I remember at the corner, like, so for those that know, like 192nd, 193rd St. Nicholas, where you go down the hill. I remember this dude named Maeve Orlando, who's not. I don't even know if he's around anymore. He was on foot, chasing cop cars with bottles, and they running away. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was the first time I had seen that.
Crazy.
And it was this moment that really, I think people don't really realize. You had riots in LA in '92.
Yeah.
But the Washington Heights riots, are not even there. And it's funny because at the time I was in a rap group. I was in the rap group with my man Sean Jones. So I said, yo, let's go take pictures. So that's why I have, pictures.
That's why I was gonna ask you, like, what that back then.
Nobody was
out there.
documenting
For
shit.
everybody that's out there.
Yeah.
Basically, back then, on a regular basis, David, there was nobody walking around with no cameras.
Hell
and if you
no.
did and you went to the wrong place, you might have a serious problem.
Yeah, they pressing you. Like, what you doing with that
you
camera,
to be
young
like,
man?
yo, this is something that has to be captured.
Yo, I had never felt that feeling of kind of empowerment. You know what I'm saying? They're like, yo, this is unity. This is what unity looks like. And even though it was negative in a certain way, this is all of us looking out for one another. It's power in this.
Well, it was a rebellious moment,
really,
brother.
really
It wasn't
really
like,
was.
oh, we're gonna riot because we want to break shit up. Oh, you think you could come over here and kill our people? We're just not.
Yeah, and that's it. And that's what's so funny. That there was a certain pressure in Washington Heights and in Harlem where, yo, every day you came out your house, the cops were because it's funny. I wasn't scared of the drug dealers. Those are my
them.
I know them.
Yeah.
It was the cops that were constantly harassing you. You couldn't walk out the building without getting frisked. That stop and frisk, like, we've been going through that. Like, it was a common thing. You know
Thought that was normal.
It was normal, and there had been a lot of pressure on the community because the cops. First of all, the cops were not like diverse like they are now, right? They're not, right? It's just white kids from the suburbs who already hated you.
Putting
There was
pressure.
no Latin and black cops hardly at all. Back then.
And okay, because let's talk about this, right? Even in the midst, of course, there was drug dealers on the block, right? But we talk about this all the time. Even back then, that was like 20% of the block. The rest of the block were the working class and the people who went to school and the people who were just trying to do their thing, right? They got to face that situation too. They got harassed.
They got
you got harassed.
The rest of
a bunch of people did 24 hours in the tombs real quick, right? For smoking and just having to be outside. Your cousin sell drugs. You're not gonna stop on your way from school to say what's up to your cousin, talk shit.
Just for being in the wrong place, wrong time.
And now you arrested with your cousin, and now you got to do 20. You know what I mean? So these things happen all the time, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So the fact that, like you're saying, now this whole solidarity is happening during that rebellious moment is because there was a moment where we kind of like fought back.
Yeah, and we realized, yo, we all going through the same things together. Like, instead of us beefing, You know, it didn't last long, but it felt good. You know what I mean? It felt important. So I got a little disposable camera. And plus, like I said, I was in a rap group, so we went out there. But the picture's amazing because the picture of me and there's a burning car behind me.
Yep.
Like, that shit look crazy.
That shit look crazy.
There's a stop sign on the floor. You know what I'm saying?
On,
or the bus
broken
stop.
Yeah, the broken
glass,
bus stop
you know what I'm
was
saying?
crazy.
That's real shit. That really happened.
That
you know what I
really
mean?
happened.
So that thing is important, and that night I was like, yo, there's something to document. This is important, you know what I mean? Like, so, again, you don't realize, and that's why it was funny, because I went to Bronx Science, right? And I didn't want to go to Bronx Science, but I was the only one that year from 143 to make it.
Oh, man.
You know what I'm saying? But
Bronx Science is a good school. It's a
school.
great school.
But, what I'm
there.
saying to that is that I didn't know I was
Shout out to
poor until I went to Bronx Science, right? Because when I was in my hood, everyone's like me. You know what I'm saying? We all got the same. No, you don't really got more than me. I don't got more than you.
Yeah.
When I go to Bronx Science, I'm like, oh shit, I'm poor. You know what I'm saying? It made me angry too. I was like, why am I poor? Their parents are not better than my parents. They're just born with more. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of it made me think about things. So it was like the riots were also with the hip hop I was listening to, you know, Rakim, you know, KRS-One, all that shit was rebellion music.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
man.
saying?
Yeah,
it was a different era. So I think all of that came together and being there, I said, yo, I gotta document this. This is important, you know what I mean? And that was 92. And look at now how important that is.
I was, like he said, I was like 10. My niece was like 1. I'm on 157. This is where everything happened, right around my hood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This shit was crazy.
That's the eye of the storm.
It was
Eye of the storm.
crazy. There was on 158 on Broadway. There was this like electronic stores where they had big radios and TVs. Shit was over, brother. They broke that shit down. Everybody took everything. Shit was crazy, bro.
My hood, they ran up in KP Cons, all that shit.
KP
Looted all that
Cons.
shit.
Crazy.
But 163rd was like, it was like the Times Square of drugs.
Definitely
You know what I'm saying?
was. That shit was crazy.
So much motherfuckers on the block selling. It was wild. You know what I'm saying? And crack was wild because crack changed the neighborhood like overnight. You know what I'm saying? It was funny because we went from writing graffiti, because that's what everyone used to write graffiti, and then it became drugs, crack, and it was like one summer to another, and everything. And people you knew became crackheads, and their parents became crackheads overnight.
Shit crazy. So all right. So then let's break it down. Let's bring it back to weed a little bit. Give us, I guess, your first experience getting high. We asked everybody, right?
Yeah.
This is the 90s. I'm pretty sure this was like the time that you know.
I was. You know, it's funny. It was. Have been wanting to smoke, and I told my boys to smoke. None of us had smoke yet. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny. We went to Fort Tryon Park. You know, Fort Tryon Park. You had the view of the GW Bridge.
What was it though? What was it?
I mean, we call it hot ox now. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, boogie.
It was hot ox. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It wasn't really good. It's whatever they had. You know what I'm saying? And again, you had to be secretive because, you know, my mom don't play that shit. You know what I'm saying?
We know Dominican moms is not playing that shit.
Está
fumando droga.
Yo, for real, tú no te cato. Tú no te cato. For my mother, there's no difference between marijuana and manteca. Like, you know what I'm saying? They son droga. You know what I'm saying? I remember when I moved out early out of my apartment. And I remember, you know, but I grew up in 382 Wadsworth. I moved to 390 Wadsworth, right there. But I was living by myself, and, you know, I'm always smoking, whatever. And my mom comes, because, you know, my mom, like a Dominican mom, will come clean my crib. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm going to be honest.
Come to the crib.
So she found a roach, and you know, in the thing, and she goes, Leo, y si yo me muero porque te fuma hierba? Yo, like, that's the biggest Dominican guilt ever. Like, yo, how about if I die because you smoke weed? Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yo, they like religious and guilt at the same time. Like,
right. So that's the thing too. I don't think the younger folks realize how hard it was to smoke back then, because you couldn't be on the block. Yo vi a tu hijo fumando. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You had to go to the
stigma
roof,
was hard.
and the cops come, they fuck you up. You know what I'm saying? That was a different world.
Gotta have the Visine.
whole different world.
The Visine.
And remind people what we had to go through just to cop weed.
Just a
bro.
cop.
You remember? Because we're not talking like in the 90s, right? We're not talking like 99, 2000. We're talking,
Early 90s,
Early
yeah.
90s. Not every block had a spot of weed back then.
Hell no.
So how hard was it, you know what I mean, to have to find even a Nick, because we was copping Nicks back then. We were not
copping
talking
Nicks.
about...
It was like a voice, like an adventure.
We're not doing apes.
Yeah,
We weren't doing apes.
yeah.
Right, Len? It was like a voice, like
It was
an adventure.
You had to go down
get
the
it.
basement. You know what I'm saying? Say a password. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. And now you be laughing. They be having a QR code. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? But nah, it was a struggle. It was a struggle. And you had to go to this you got to go to 184th and Audubon. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like that kind of thing. And it was.
We We was chasing the weed because I was a customer, right? And I used to chase the weed on any block, right? So and my block always had it on 5-6. They had it since '96. But you always chase with whoever had the fire because you heard it from the grapevine. You heard it,
yep.
Especially in the summer. In the summer, you go hear it quick, right? Because if you an active kid. In the summer, in the 90s, you went to Highbridge, you went to when 145th first opened, you was shaking and baking, so you heard who got the weed.
Yep. And you will go to great lengths to get the weed.
You will go to great
I take
lengths.
it deeper for y'all, and this just hit me because of what Lad was just talking about right now. I believe that whole voyage thing played a role in changing what Lad said. Before I had to go on those voyages to go get weed, I wasn't going to 180 something. I wasn't going to 150. I think that changed it where like they here to buy weed. There's no. It's okay.
That's
they could come.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Before that, you couldn't go to other hoods for no random reason. I think that all the like Ramon said when Dykeman had a weed spot 177, 180 something, 150 something, 130. Like it started making it okay for having a legitimate reason to go to other neighborhoods.
That's profound.
And change the dynamic of that whole, territorial shit that you can't walk through here.
Because it's bad for business.
Absolutely.
Right. That's a good point.
I mean, if you ran a spot, right, and oh, look at the Harlem kids coming, but they come in about, well, you leave them alone, right? So it's like, it's all good, right? I mean, you're not saying that's what changed it all, but that's definitely a
played
fact.
a role.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
it
that
opened
happened.
up. It's funny you say that because, and it was weed that did that, right? Because people were coming for coke and it was still safe, but it was different.
Yeah, that's a different business. That's a different business.
And Dominicans from 130 something ain't going to 150 something for that. And from 150 they gotta go to Dykeman like for that. People from other neighborhoods, other boroughs, other towns, other cities, other states.
And plus, then shit got exotic. Right now we talking 96 and up. Now things are starting to get exotic. Now not every block don't got the exotic.
They don't got that connect.
Remember, still, it's 96. Not every block has a weed spot. Let's keep it 100. So you gotta chase the weed spot. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you gonna do? Yo, you heard David said that on 184, we going on the rumor. We just gonna go and just
and
like
you asking around too, yo.
But that's what made it okay. Cause when you get to that block, you telling niggas, yo, I'm just looking for the weed.
It's Ask Ramon, like
cause you coming with your hoodie and your army.
Ramon used to come cop on my block.
Oh yeah,
and
that
wasn't because of weed, he wouldn't. And I wouldn't be able to go. Hey, he wouldn't get in my block because there's he got to go inside the building. There's 1,000 dudes in front of the building.
Bro.
But you hear about weed, like you said, they part like the scene. Oh, it's all good. But if you wasn't you know that you couldn't go inside that building. Like,
for real,
bro.
So true, man.
Even in 99, 2000, right now there's weed spots more, right, coming uptown, right? I would go. The only spots are open in our area from 135th to 156 to 160 type of shit, right? Open at after 2 o'clock in the morning was on 139.
Right.
But you go to 139, you thinking it's empty or whatever, like a normal, in the world at 2 o'clock in the morning, right? No, at 2 o'clock in the morning, in that corner building,
jumping,
20 motherfuckers sitting outside. So now you in that car, cause you pulling up. At that point, you ain't walking to no 139 at 2 in the morning. So you pulling up with whoever you with, whether it's the cab driver or your man, and you like, damn, because you don't know now. You don't know, cause now you like, oh shit, it's 20 motherfuckers outside. I hope one of these motherfuckers, you know what I mean? Because especially if you outside, forget about it. You know what I mean? I'm talking about
how badly do I want to smoke?
How badly do I want to smoke? I was, 2-3 weeks ago, we just jumped some dude. I don't know if one of them is dead. You know what I mean? So now I'm like, shit, you know what? Yo, you got to go and cop. You know what I mean? Because now it's a debate. Now it's like, yo, I don't know. You went last time. Yeah, you know what I mean? So now it's a whole debate, but you still got to go and you show up and you got to tell the first, like he said, the first brother, yo, I'm coming to get the weed. And then their defense goes down. Yeah, that disarms everybody.
Okay, no, it's all right.
All right, yeah. Go ahead, my G.
The energy
back
changes.
there. He's back there, B. All right, cool. But if not, it's a whole, as soon as they see you pulling up to the block, everybody on defense mode, like, yo, who's that? Right?
It's true. And it's funny, that reminds me of my OG Evelyn from 184th. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out
Evelyn. I remember when I used to cop from her. Yo, I used to be scared of her because she'd be, posted up, Well, she held that block down. That was one of the few women uptown that have a block.
Few women. We're gonna.
era, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we haven't. Yeah, we gonna have her soon. We have, matter of fact, back when we first started.
Yeah, that's right.
So now I want to bring her back because I know she don't, she don't like getting on camera too much. But she said, "Yo, for you motherfuckers, I love you, motherfuckers." So I was like, we gonna bring her back. Well, we definitely gonna bring her story out there because that's the thing. You know what I mean? There's so many stories from so many different people and so many different eras that it built what everybody's standing on today, and it literally did. You know what I mean? Like these spots became $1 million industries.
For real.
You understand? So what happens is now everybody's standing on what happened. There was a flow of millions of dollars of people to come in to consume already, way before.
And it was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to create that type of flow that people don't know about because it wasn't like now everybody couldn't just sell. Everybody just couldn't have a block. And that's what, like,
Yeah, no,
you realize.
And that's so funny, right? Because you think about it, like, in certain ways, these people are heroes, right? Like, and what they did in a different time. But I also think that y'all, right, are also the culmination of that, right? Like, the y'all that this starts with that, but it ends with y'all in a certain way. Like y'all coming to Dykeman, coming uptown. You know what I'm saying? That's special.
Oh
right?
man,
and it's not
so
it's not someone coming from the outside. It's because a lot of people did a lot of time for fucking weed. Right? A lot of the families were ruined.
A lot of people got deported.
A lot of people got deported.
A lot of people got killed.
Got killed. A lot of shit happened for this, right? And now to come back and it's legal and it's y'all. That's redemption,
man. And I'm so grateful to have you here and like Kev and like the people that are older than us, right? Because I love to highlight the fact that this is where we come from, right? We're not just talking shit, me and him, that yo, we did this, this is whatever, cool. This is where we come from, the Les Blacks of the world, the Kevs of the world, the Tito's of the world, and the many more others that we can't name. And this is why we are the evolved game of that, right? Like that's it. Like we're the next level. You know what I mean? It's the evolution of it, right? So we have to, do shit that we've never done before, and people maybe think, shit look easy or whatever, but nah, we trying it out too. We just going for it, right? And we try a bunch of shit, David, right? Let her know, man. You know how many shit like we've tried and like, it failed, but we keep it moving. You know what I mean? We just get up and keep it moving. Like we got no choice now, right? Like you said, now we are those guys who's like starting this, and it's
bigger than y'all, right? It's this thing that's pretty amazing. And I think from the very beginning, like I said, I felt like I was from the beginning. That first year, I was taking part in this, and the magic of going in that freight elevator, right, where you're like, what the fuck, like. First of all, my boy was Ox. Ox was like, yo, lad, he kept telling me about it. But he was like, I don't really, it's expensive. But he didn't want to lose me as a customer. That was my plug, right? But then you called me, and you were like, yo, I was like, what? Is you okay? But I remember being in that freight elevator. I'm like, yo, the address was weird. Like, what am I doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, I see meat in the fucking elevator. I'm like, what's happening?
I love it.
And then when you get upstairs, you open up and be like, and there's like a dispensary, and then you get to burn at the same time, which is not, you can't even do that in LA at that time. That was 2016, right? I was blown away by that shit, you know what I'm saying? And it was a feeling. Y'all created a feeling, and that's super special.
Let it. It's just like, to piggyback off of what Ramon was saying, what you were just saying, I think it's AC that says it in the rhyme, like about what Ramon just said about like, the shoulders we stand on. He says in the rhyme, most of my people are either resting in peace or sitting there saying quitting. The rest of us are just trying to carry on tradition.
Yep.
That's it.
And that's what people don't understand. Right. That it's not like us. It's that we are fortunate to be like in between that era of what we're talking about, and we just carrying on the traditions and
I love that.
Bringing it to this new world and this new industry.
Right. Yeah, it'll be a shame that we didn't try. You know what I mean? And we didn't document like you do, you know what I mean? And I guess this is kind of like our way to do it, right? This is like our way to kind of like shine light to, there's a lot of this industry that we do want to shine light, right? Even to the hood and to the legacy, right? We want to make sure that they get informed with all the people that we do bring on here, right? Because we do bring on people that they wouldn't normally talk to, right? Because that was kind of like the platform we provided during those those events, right? And that's what we do in any event we do, right? We always provide a platform where people kind of like mashed and they would never even talk to each other ever, right? So this is what we do here. So now this is kind of like our way to make sure that whoever's legacy, whoever was in those moments, in those riot moments, whoever was in New York culture, you was here during those cannabis era and you survived, there's a platform here for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
because it's hard. I remember just before we got on camera, we had it was tough conversations that we had to have with each other, with our families and all this shit. Like, yo, we about to start like having Vlad get on speaking engagements and speak about ourselves and all this other shit. What do you guys think? Like, we had like a whole family meetings and shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
Before getting on cameras and stuff like that. And it's like, and I think everybody kind of like felt the same. They're like, yeah, if it's, do it. Like, you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, it's like we don't want the legacy to die. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's funny. Like, my favorite Happy Munkey moment, right? In the sense that, like, you guys always did, every time you kept elevating, right? It's funny because it's like, okay, you have this lounge hidden in Midtown, there's a weed lounge, and then you had the yoga. And I remember that boat ride. I remember the day. It was August 11th.
Oh,
August 11th.
People don't know about that.
August 11th, 2018, right?
The boat ride.
The boat ride.
Yeah.
And I remember that.
Yacht David. Shout out to Yacht David.
For real. I remember that because my birthday was the August 13th. And I remember being on the top boat. And I was just smoking by myself. And I heard Sicko Mode for the first time.
Man.
And I was on that boat. And I was like, yo, this is amazing. Like, the song is amazing. This moment is amazing.
Hold up, like, because they don't know what you're talking about. You got to really explain to them what happened. I think in 2018, that was unheard of, going around Manhattan and the Statue of Liberty with weed.
I had never seen the Statue of Liberty so close, first of all. But yeah, it was funny. I paid $150 for a boat ride, and I got $150 worth of weed. So I was like, okay, this works. And then it was just this amazing, and I think... Shannon Briggs was on the boat.
Yeah.
True Life was on the fucking boat.
Let's go.
It was one of the special moments, and we're traveling and seeing the Statue of Liberty. It was like, I took mad pictures high. It was like, this was beautiful, beautiful. Bro. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about. And then the best part was, right, y'all went back to the spot afterwards.
That was the after party at the lounge.
But I was so high, I couldn't do nothing. But as I was leaving, the security guard, remember, big dude, I think he's Puerto Rican, big dude, goes to me. He's like, yo, you going to the after party? I said, nah. I
think that was Mo and them back then.
Yeah.
Mo.
And he goes, yo, lad, without you, it wouldn't be the same. And I was like, damn. But that was what y'all created, right?
Yes.
That was that hospitality shit that
Absolutely.
was so far-reaching, right? Like, that, yo, it's not just about weed. Weed is more. It's elevated. You know what I mean? So shout out to y'all, man. Like, I'm proud to be, like, have seen it from the beginning. You know what I mean?
Led, like Ramon said earlier, like, we all know... And we, it's been well documented, all the street shit, drug dealing, whatever, all the stuff that happened up there. Then what people don't know is because Uptown is such an evolving community and place that we come from. I think I need you to really break down to people after those riots. What were the positive things that happened to get to where Uptown became a place where Lin-Manuel lives and and there's the United Palace and all these amazing cultural things are happening. You, like I said, are the social studies teachers that can help break down like how all these things, ended up happening and how it became a hub for much more afterwards, like as far as culture, arts, and etc.
I think the riot shocked people, right? Like, it got them like, yo, look at what our neighborhood's become. Like, it wasn't, before crack, right? Because crack is really what changed everything, right? Mm-hmm. Before crack, Washington Heights was tough.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a war zone, right? After crack, we were in a bad state, and I think the rise was like, yo, we can't live like that. Like, and I also think that's where weed comes in, right? Where it went from being a place where people knew to cop everything else to home of the haze. You'll come and get your weed up here.
Yep.
I think that's really important. And also, I think it was the businesses that started coming out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like 809. You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay, shout out to 809. I just went to see the Elo's thing the other day.
Yeah, and then.
Well, we mentioned a couple businesses before the 809s, right? So let's take it back a little bit, right? Let's say La Vega was there first, right? Then it was the Mirage.
Oasis.
Right?
Definitely.
Then all these things started.
But what I'm saying for like that Dykeman area, like that Arca, like that area, it was Arca. You know what I'm saying? Mama Juana was opened up.
Yeah.
And I think right now, 1 in 8 New Yorkers is Dominican. Right?
2 million in the state, I think.
That's
something
mad.
like that.
That's mad. Those numbers are real. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
And that's what we started doing. Instead of like, okay, I love Dominican food too, but let's do Dominican food for this generation. You know what I'm saying? I think that fueled a lot. Because people started going out more uptown. Uptown became a destination for everybody.
It's a fact. I always tell it. You know, at the end of the day, it became a fabulous hood. It's the most fabulous hood I ever seen in my life, right? Because, like when the crack era started dying out a little bit, you started to see it come out, right? Because even the drug dealers treated it different, right? Because now there's still cars. And the rappers now started coming for the weed. Because I don't know if y'all remember. I remember vividly, you know, Rough Rider coming in,
That's
100,
in Jada,
you know what I mean? 100 fucking bikes coming to a block. You know, that's
Beanie
shit that
Siegel was coming to my block. Busta Rhymes was coming to my block.
you know what I mean?
Wu-Tang was coming to my block.
Like hip hop was coming uptown. Like it was crazy, right? Like, as far as like rap, you know what I mean? Rap part of hip hop was coming hard at that time, right? So kind of like, walk us through now, like what he was, to kind of like add to it, to his question, kind of like give us when Uptown Collective is born, right? Because now Uptown Collective is born, and now you get to put everything you know about watch it, because you go hard. It's not like you just talk about the riots. You go back even to the fucking Lenape. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Like you go hard.
So we started like broadcasting like February of 2010. And like
14 years you're going on.
It's 14 years. And like the first story that kind of blew up was the story about the Nutcracker. Because my barber, Kati, shout out to Kati, they call her Fatiu Uptown, right? She was one of the first people to bring the Nutcracker uptown.
Crazy.
You know what I'm saying? So she was from DR, came here, was going to, you know, work as a barber, and she went to Flor de Mayo.
That's where it was born at, right?
Flor de Mayo is the original spot.
Flor
you know
de
what I'm saying? Shout out to Flor de Mayo.
But you had to go all the way downtown, Upper West Side. That was uptown.
But so funny though, the other thing people don't realize that when
that
we
was
were
downtown to us, right?
Yeah, you couldn't downtown to us,
and you couldn't take it to go.
You couldn't take it to go. It was downtown.
Couldn't take it to go.
But also how important Chino Latino food was.
Whoa, important.
Right? Because if it wasn't Dominican food at home, we were eating Chino Latino. You know what I'm saying?
And they speak more Spanish than us.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Dominican Spanish too.
Yeah, for real. So you know, my barber saw it, took it uptown, and she was one of the first people to blow up with the Nutcracker. So that was the first story I did on the Nutcracker. And I mean, on Uptown Collective was about the Nutcracker. And then kind of took off from there because people are searching the recipe. So one of the stories just stays alive. You know what I'm saying? But that was a story. And then I realized, like, there was a hunger for, like, knowing what's going on in your community, right? And I don't always have to create the content, but just sharing it.
Yes.
Look at this. Look at this, you know what I'm saying? And what that does, it helps that person too, because now you're going to follow it. So the motto from the beginning was like, spread love is the Uptown way. Taken from Biggie, spread love is the Brooklyn way. But I feel Uptown always spread more love than Brooklyn, because back in the days, Brooklyn was no drug
for you for your shoelaces.
Yeah, for real.
Brooklyn keeps on taking it.
But for real. But anyway, no, but, you know, it was about spreading love, like always being positive. You know, I tried to like I said, I don't need to show murders all the time, unless sometimes, you know, when you need to, because it's being covered and not we're killing each other, then that's that.
But there's more than that.
But there's more than that, you know what I'm saying? So I try to keep it positive, but also, you know, like right now with the heroin epidemic, I like to speak about that because it's changing our community, right? You know, there's only 2 safe injection sites in the country. 2. Guess where they're at? Washington Heights and El Barrio. So the only 2 places in Manhattan where people of color have any, like,
safe access.
That's where you put them?
Right.
If heroin is such a problem, why don't you have it everywhere? You see what I'm saying? Right. And I also feel that's they call it harm reduction, but harm reduction for whom? What about our kids, right? I feel that shit is like a Trojan horse for gentrification. But that's what's dope, right? That we have power too, right? That's what y'all doing, right? No, we're gonna put this uptown. This is empowerment.
No,
because we got power.
Yeah, no.
And you know, it's a good thing that you mentioned that, right, Lad? Because it says that, like, everywhere where legal dispensaries opened up throughout the country, I think opioid use goes down by like 40-50%. Also, like, you know, there's deeper ramifications. That's why it's important for us to help people understand that it's bigger than just having cannabis legally. So 40% of the taxes sold from legal cannabis goes to any communities in the state impacted by the war on drugs. 4% of that goes directly to the community where the dispensary is operating at. So what does that mean, Led? That means that since cannabis legalized, I think the numbers are like $150 million that the legal industry has done. Uptown never got $1 because nobody was operating there, because even though there's 50 legal dispensaries, people see no value in our community. They see no value in our people, but we do, and that's why we're going up there.
That's dope. That's how it should be, for real.
Yeah, we there. We coming.
Yeah, and I think also that marijuana is important for us too, right? Like when I'm in the dispensaries, like in Jersey all the time or wherever, you know, and who you see there is all white people, right? Because the plant helps them. Right, that the plant gives them something that they need that those pharmaceuticals don't really do the right way. And I'm you know, my mom could use some, you know, cannabis. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people's moms and aunts. You know what I'm saying? Like
Better than the pharmaceuticals.
Better than the pharmaceuticals, right? Like so I think this plant is bigger than just, you know, it's more than just something you recreational in a sense. It's a spiritual, it's medicine. You know what I mean? Like, and I think our community needs it.
And like we mentioned earlier, our communities, you know, people died, people got deported, people got arrested, and just psychologically, like you said, all the people that lived up there, like Ramon said, that were just living there, working, being working class citizens, the last time they remember is people getting killed, police jumping out all the time. So aside from what happened, the trauma that people went through up there for the war on cannabis is also something that affected people. So now, how is it that cannabis in New York is the biggest consumer market in the world? It's estimated to be like a $5-6 billion industry. Damn. So now only the other folks are going to benefit off of that, when nobody was jumping out on them, nobody was killing them, nobody was deporting them.
No consequences.
So now it's going to be probably the biggest transfer of wealth in our lifetime. How is it that our people that built that get left out? We can't have that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's also, you know, that Uptown specifically contributed so much to cannabis culture, right? And cannabis in New York City, right? That for it to not get now, so now because it's legal, we ain't the shit no more in this field.
That part,
right? Like, nah, hold on, right? Like, this is ours anyway, right? And that's, I always tell people that, like, I feel like you have to take your community with a sense of ownership. This is mine. Whoever comes here, this is mine. I own this. We own this, right? You know what I'm saying? And I think because our numbers are real. Jay-Z said, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. That's some real shit.
Millions of dollars came through these blocks, and then after a while, just so now time went on. Now we in the millennium. After shit done changed, 2003, 2004, 2005, every motherfucking block got a weed spot, but everybody making money. The shit ain't like
for real.
So there's millions of dollars still coming from all over tri-state. Everybody coming to get weed, because that's it. It's not just the blocks anymore. The tri-state coming to get a lot of fucking weed from everywhere. So yeah, we contributed to a lot.
Yeah, for real.
You know?
I wanted to ask you, lad, you know, me personally, I am a stand-up fanatic. You know what I mean? My favorite thing is to go get high, and my man knows kiki, ha ha ha. Yeah. That's my favorite thing. You know what I mean? to do when
I love stand-up too. I love stand-up.
Yeah, so, my bad get high, get giggles.
I want to know what was the epiphany to start this Morisonando series, because I'm seeing now there's so many popping Latin comedians and etc. But what was it that, you know, what was the epiphany for
Morisonando?
to create this
first
series?
of all, let's explain what a Morisonando is.
All right, so a Morisonando is a Dominican drink, right, that translates to die dreaming. It's like orange juice and milk, and that doesn't sound good, but Morisonando is amazing.
It's amazing.
It really is like
It's
die
amazing.
Dreaming is a beautiful drink.
It is.
But Morisonando, the comedy, is really, really dope. It's really Glorellis Mora and Sasha Mercy. It's their branch out. Shout out to them. Like, these are two Dominican powerhouses, right? And they have been doing this Morisonando for a while, bi-coastal. It sells out every time, you know what I mean? And it's really like a Dominican comedic talent incubator, right? It's to showcase Dominican talent, comedic talent, but also to create the next generation. And that was really their idea. Like, I just really came along because Glorellis and I have been friends for a while. You know, every time we always talk, we have a good conversation, you know what I'm saying? And I was able, because of my connections to the United Palace, you know, I'm really cool with Mike Fiddleson, who's the executive director.
Lad, my fault. I'm gonna give you some flowers. Stop.
Yeah, he be trying to be too humble with it.
Hold Hold on.
He be trying to skirt past shit.
Yeah,
fast, right?
I'm gonna let you get the story's great. I'm gonna let you keep on going with the story. But my man Led is the go-to guy uptown, man. Like we love you. People know. People know already at this point. Yo, I want to do some sort of, performance.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, anything that's shaking and baking with the arts uptown. People reach out to you, brother, because you the go-to guy, brother. At the end of the day, man. True. So let's be real, brother. And I want to make sure that everybody knows that you want to come uptown, you want to do some artsy fartsy shit, whatever the fuck, bro. Whatever it goes to do, music, art, spoken word, whatever you could think of. Talent-wise, you want to do some sort of shit going on? My man Led is that guy. I'm gonna keep it real, man.
I appreciate it.
And I want to add, you've been involved,
and I want to add to that, Ramon. You know why? Because I've been watching. He's an arbiter of having the vision of what to put his stamp on, because he also has the vision, just like he did with us and is doing with these amazing ladies, to know what's cool and what's worth him using those connections, because he also is on the money with making sure that he amplifies the right shit that has the right message that has quality.
Yeah, you're right. I was blown away by them. You know what I mean? I was like, this is such a dope idea. You're already doing it, right? And then, I was like, yo, let's do it at United Palace. And they agreed, and we did the first show during the New York Comedy Festival last year in November. We sold out the show without even announcing a lineup. We just had them. We were just their faces on everything, right? Crazy. Without any lineup. And we had a great lineup. You know what I'm saying? We had Ian Lara, who's been on HBO, has 2 HBO specials. Crazy. Ada Rodriguez, who has 2 HBO specials. We had like a ill lineup. But it was on the strength for them. And then the United Palace, it was a beautiful night. You know what I mean? Nice. So we're doing one on February 27th. We're doing one in June.
Who we got on February? I don't want to skip that.
That's the Dominican Independence Day too. Come on, that's a big day.
I don't want to skip that lineup.
2 shows. We have 2 shows, 6:30 and 9. Sasha Mercy, of course. Glory is performing. We have my brother Ruperto Vanderpool, who's
that's the homie. That's another legend right there. Loco.
Black Rose is performing.
Come on, that's the queen. That's the queen.
So then I'm gonna get confused between the 2 shows, but altogether between the 2 shows, we have Tommy 5000.
Come on,
Alan Manito. You know what I'm saying?
That's the family. That's the family.
We have a bunch of dope ass comics. You know what I'm saying? And the dude Cristino Sosa, the dude that does Dominican Usher. Have you seen Dominican Usher?
No,
oh, you guys see Dominican Usher. So basically, he does Usher, but with a fat Dominican accent.
Oh, the voiceovers.
It's so fucking funny. So he did one at the Super Bowl when, oh my God, this is mad funny. So he's performing, you know what I mean? So we're going to have a great night. And again, it's about inspiring the next, comedian. Dominic's mad funny already. But this is a venue. This is a way of, of taking your career to the next level if you're really funny. So it's going to be dope. And then for the anniversary of last year's show, because we're doing these shows in the United Palace, but in the vestibule, in the foyer when you come in. The big show in November is going to be inside the theater. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have 3,400 seats. You know what I'm saying? The whole
it's
thing.
a beautiful ass theater, bro.
It's only 1 of 7 in the cities. Like the Wonder Theaters is amazing.
Didn't they just have some type of awards there recently?
Did the Tonys?
They did the Tony Awards.
That shit is beautiful, bro. Yo, that shit is
They did last year's Tonys. Yeah, man. You know what I mean? So that's what, and I think United Palace is an important place of town. You know what I'm saying? It's in mad movies too. Like when you see a movie like that's United Palace or shows. You know what I mean?
Because that shit. How long has United Palace been there? That shit's been there forever, bro.
It's been there. I think it opened in 1930s.
Come on,
1930s.
Yeah. It's been around for a while. And again, people don't realize from the outside. It may, like now it's starting to look much better. But for most of the time, it just looked like a big block on a building, right? But
bro,
inside,
I thought that shit was an abandoned.
Yo,
I thought it was like an abandoned church. I'm like, people just use this shit for Sundays.
I'm gonna confess here on the show, Mauricio is gonna be the first time I've never been inside United Palace.
Whoa,
you're gonna be blown away.
You are. You're gonna be like, damn, this is in a hood.
Yeah, it's so like, because it basically is one of these theaters. It was made by Lowe's, and it has all these different like different architecture styles. So it's like Mesopotamian, it's Greek, it's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's
shit
just
is crazy.
beautiful. Like you're like, and you don't expect it either. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but Mauricio Young's gonna be dope, man. So I'm glad to be a part of it, man.
I'm gonna be there. You already know. You know, I support whatever you do, man. And I told you I'm a fan of comedy, so I'm gonna be there, kikiing, because like I said, you know, it's like you said, there was the comedy right now, stand-up comedy is just like such an amazing thing right now, but like you said, there wasn't many incubators for local Dominican stand-up comedians. So that's amazing that these ladies and you are doing that.
Yeah, creating something that's needed, you know what I'm saying? And also comedians in a lot of ways. If you like comedians, you know that comedians are one of the few people that like can be really honest. You know what I'm saying? Like, whether you like the honesty or not, whether you agree with
They're
it
like
or
a
not.
modern day philosophers kind of thing. Like, people can't say things that they can say but they say it like it is.
They say it like it is. Like, you know, and again, the comedy keeps coming back. Look at how Cat Williams, right, took Club Shay Shay to the next level, right? Right? It really did, right?
I love all that shit.
Shit set on the internet on fire because comedians are special. And we're special as Dominicans. We have mad Dominican comedians that only do Spanish.
Yeah.
Let's do this generation too, you know what I mean? So,
Yep, because now we got second, third generations of Dominicans here, right? So shit is on now.
And like man said, he got the numbers 1 and 8.
1 and 8.
That's a lot. So my man, you've done all sorts of shit, right? We've done smoke signals together. If you want to explain a little bit of smoke signals real quick.
Yeah, sure. So smoke. So I got really lucky in 2021, right? Mm-hmm. That Noma was having the end of their Uptown Nostro. They did it with the Moth. Mm-hmm. So for people who don't know, the Moth is like an institution basically where it's true stories told live without notes. Mm-hmm. So you basically go in front of a crowd and you tell a story, 10 minutes. You know, and when I got the call, I was in Miami working on something with the New York Latino Film Festival, and they called me, and as a fan, I was like, yes. But in my mind, I didn't really because I'm gonna be on stage with Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Wow.
And I'm gonna be with Kiara. Kiara was also she wrote In the Heights with him. And at first, I'm like, yeah, to do it. But then I was like, yo, I'm going on the stage with fucking Lin-Manuel. Why did I think this was a good idea? Because I'm not really that person. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I was like, I was really kind of struggling with it. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny, right, that weed plays a part in the story, right?
Yeah.
So when I found out I was going to do it, I was like, bet, I'm going to do it. So I was in Miami, and I love Wynwood. Right,
Wynwood's like the culture hub.
Right, and if you grew up during the graffiti era, Wynwood is just like put you like in your childhood in a weird way. You know what I'm saying?
I love all the art right now.
So when I was working during the day with New York Latino Film Festival all day, and then at night we'll go to Wynwood by myself and smoke. Right, bang, but you know it's all murals. So if people don't know, Wynwood is just street art everywhere, right? And it changes, whatever. So every night I was getting high going there, and then one night. I was driving, and I saw a sign, and it said, after the plague came the Renaissance. And I was like, that's dope. That's fucking amazing. I'm putting it on my Twitter bio. Like, that's the shit. And then I went to buy, paper, and I smoked. And then I got high, and then I'm walking around Wynwood, and then I realized I was lost. I don't know where the fuck I was at. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, where the fuck I'm at? I don't know. I called my wife. I was like, yo, I don't know where I'm at. Yo, I'm lost. I had a rental, so it's not even my car. You know what I'm saying? And the way I found my way, I was lost for a good 40 minutes in Wynwood. Like, just high and walking around like a fool. Like, I'm like, I can't be this far down, you know? And it's funny, how I found myself is when I found the mural that said, it's like, and then I knew where my car was at, and I was able to get home. But it's funny that month, because you didn't have time to prepare to do the Moth. It was like you had a producer. I've had an audition at first, and I told her some stories, and then she helped craft it. Mm-hmm. Like, say this, don't say that. You know what I'm saying? So my story was basically about Dominican manhood. Being the heights and being married. You know what I'm saying? The things we went through, what I went through with my wife and her health. You know what I'm saying? So it was interesting that I was mad nervous. Mad nervous. I'm like, at first I'm like, why did I sign up for this? Why would I be on the stage with Lin-Manuel Miranda? Like, why would I do that? You know what I'm saying?
Because it gotta be done, baby.
But my daughter was she gave me good advice. Like when I was practicing my story, she said she would throw socks at me. So if I could catch the socks and still do my story, I would have it down pat. So it's funny, the day before, right? The day before I'm gonna do my story, I get a call from my day job. And they were like, yo, by the way, the last day is July something. So it was June 29th, I was doing this, and I was like, I was gonna get like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, I've been in this job for a minute, that's how whatever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I was gonna drink wine. I was like, let me get ready for my story. You know what I'm saying? And then what happened was the next day, I was still nervous. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm again in my mind, it's like, what am I doing? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then when I get there, I see the list, the playbill or whatever, and I see my name first. So I'm bet. I'm like, I'm first. I could just get out. It was reverse order. And then Lynn goes to me,
you
let no
last. He's a
pressure.
closer.
He said, let no pressure, you're headlining. I was like,
Headlining with Lin Manuel.
No pressure.
And then it was mad nerve-wracking. But when I got on that stage, like all that shit just went away, and it was just like me telling my story. And that shit changed the game for me because I feel like that's mad important, people telling their stories. So that's where Smoke Signals comes, right? Because I think the Morph is super dope. I love the Morph, and it changed my life in certain ways, but it's elevated where maybe we don't get to do it. So that's what the whole idea behind Smoke Signals, right? Let's tell our stories, right? Like, let's get people that we know, that we admire, let's get them to tell your story, because we all have stories, right?
Yep.
What's the little story that you know that no one knows, you know what I'm saying, that'll help me get through things. And storytelling is like people being around like a fire, like, you know, that's also so part of the culture, you know what I'm saying? Dominicans love cuentos, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So Smoke Signals is about that, telling our story.
Yeah, you know, it's crazy.
By the way, he did a Smoke Signals and he was amazing. So and you got to do another one.
He killed it.
He killed it.
Do you remember what was our boy's name, the photographer from Smoke Signals that day that he was doing the cards with us?
Anthony Rojas?
Remember, he was at the Smoke Signals. He was telling his story. The photographer.
Oh,
Dashada.
Dashada.
Oh,
So I'm
Dashada was
mentioning
amazing.
him because he helped me manifest some shit where he was like, we all had to do it. Yo, write yourself. It was a crazy exercise. I never done anything like that. Write yourself a year from now a letter, and then you see it a year from now, and like, you know what I mean? Like what I wrote there.
You wrote that day? And that day where you wrote that day?
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Shout out to Dashada. But I'm just trying to say, like, same thing, like us telling our stories, sharing ideas.
It's funny you say Dashada. Shout out to my brother Dashada, right? Because I want to do this Smoke Signals thing, and Vanessa was super helpful, and Beck was super helpful in making that happen. Like, we got to come back together and do another one, right? But Dashada's story was the first one that made me want to do it. Because he told me a story that it gave me goosebumps. Because that story he told y'all, he told me, and I was like, "Nah, we gotta put that." You know what I'm saying? And it's about manifesting that story, how he manifested. You know, and it was I played a part in his story. You know what I'm saying? And when he told me that, we hadn't even met. The first time we met, he told me that story, and I was like, you know what I'm saying? And again, it was because, like y'all said, like I've always had my finger on the pulse Uptown, just because I'm always there when shit happens for whatever reason. Like that's just the way it is. You know what I'm saying? And what happened with Dai is that he wrote to himself, "Yo, I want to have my picture everywhere." And then he was like, he put it and sent it to himself. And when he wrote, he was like, "What is this? Like whatever." And then at the time, you know, if you remember, before the pandemic, In the Heights was supposed to come out before. But the pandemic kind of slowed everything down. So out of nowhere, I get on Instagram. I get a DM from what's his name now? The director of In the Heights. He hits me up. "Yo, Lex, can you give me a call?" What? Yes, I called him. And I was like, and he was like, "Yo, I'm looking for because of the pandemic, I can't have people like going out, but can we use like photographers to be in the film?" So what's ill is that Dashada, his name is in the Heights in the credits. All the pictures you see at the end. I didn't get all the photographers, but I got a good chunk of them.
That's dope.
You know what I'm saying? That was one of them. So when he told me that story, I was
You're
like,
the go-to guy, man.
I was like,
I
that
said.
story, we have to amplify. That was the first story, and then we built with the storytellers. We had you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We had Rachel La Loca, we had OG Evelyn, you know what I'm saying?
I think, and
We had Frankie.
And I'm gonna confess, because I haven't really told this to my team, and these are things that we talk while we're operating and shit like that, and we're like, you know, breaking. So one of the ideas that I'm bringing to the table to my team is Smoke Signals.
Dope.
Because this taps into our community very,
agree.
very deeply.
I agree.
And it's a moment where we get to do what we used to do, is kind of combine crowds and let people kind of see what we all went through, right? Because in our community, we had a lot of backlash, right? Yeah, we had a bunch of weed and everybody, but like I said, that was 20% of the block. The rest of the community was like, no. Right? So we had a lot of that. Right now, we're able to kind of let them people know, like, yo, this is what we was going through back then. Like, now, look, this is legal now. This is not a problem. This is a medicine and all this other things. But look what we were going through. You know what I mean? While we were going to get weed. And
For real.
Little shit like that, right?
For real.
So I think, you know, Smoke Signals is a great way for us to continue bridging the gap. You know what I mean?
I agree. I think, you know, everyone has a story to tell. You know what I'm saying? People think, oh, no, you have a story. You know what I'm saying? That helps. You know what I'm saying? Like Evelyn's story, you know what I'm saying? She was talking about how the whole stigma of just having, your mom hating you because you smoke weed and she sold weed. Her mother hated her. And then her life, her mother, who hated weed, when she was dying of cancer, the weed helped her.
Absolutely.
It was ill about that story that night. Evelyn, like I've known Evelyn for like a long time, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And to see her tell that story, it was ill when her story that she ran off.
Yeah.
But she killed it, you know what I'm saying? She murdered that shit, you know what I'm saying? It was a beautiful moment, you know what I mean?
Len, like you being the arbiter, historian that you are, having the pulse the way you have it. So you told us from the past, from Kiko, you told us the present and all the cultural amazing things. Now the question is, in Led's perspective, where do you see Uptown heading, like in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, with as far as like art, culture, cannabis, etc.? Because I really value your perspective because you're really good at seeing how things shape out.
Well, I think right now is the time to really hone in and focus, because this is where the battle's either won or lost. Right? If you look at Inwood right now, Inwood doesn't look the same anymore. Look how much buildings, how much big ass fucking buildings uptown, right? You look at the skyline of Inwood, it's completely different. You look down Broadway from 181st, you see buildings, big ass buildings. So that means that like right now is when the fight is happening, right? So that means either we keep it ours or we lose it. You know what I mean? And that's why I say, like, I think that's why weed and culture and art, that's why they're so important, right? Because I think we have to realize we have really valuable real estate up there. It's Manhattan. So it's either ours or somebody else's. So that's what I'm thinking. I think we need to focus, come together, like, yo, let's rock with one another. Like, let's really, like, say, yo, this is what we want to see done, and let's make sure it's done. And we do it. And our politicians have to be with us. Like, we have to be like, yo, this is what you need to do for us. And you need to work for us, right? Because you need that partnership too. But again, we have power. And again, like if you look at Uptown right now, because I felt for real, like for a while, I felt like Uptown was just going up. It don't feel like that no more. It feels like it's going down.
Why? Why do you?
Because of heroin, right? I think heroin, there's so much heroin on the streets right now. Yo, I see a lot of young dudes, 20-year-old dudes, like lost, perdido, like you're just
Like you
lost.
always say, from the Perkies to the 30s to the...
Yeah, it's
a lot of that.
It's a lot of that, and again, I think it's also allowed on purpose. My mother, people, our moms, that generation is the problem of town in the sense to the landlords, right? They're getting these apartments for nothing to them. They know they've been there for 50 years, right? But they want them out. You know what I'm saying? So I think the allowing of the shit uptown is on purpose. Just
Making it uncomfortable.
Making it uncomfortable so people leave and want to leave. So now I think that we have to fight back. You know what I'm saying? Nah, hold on. We don't want this. And I think that's what it's about. I think so it's we don't know where it's going to go. You know what I'm saying? It depends on what we do right now.
It's funny that you mentioned that because part of what we want to do is like inform people about the medicinal value and all the different uses of cannabis, because there's like 10 registers, operators that are allowed to prescribe cannabis in the state. And as you can imagine, lad, they're not in any marginalized communities. They all in the wealthy communities. So all these wealthy communities got access to this medicine and the information about what the medicine does and etc. And like you said, it's up to us to educate our people, and because nobody's coming to save us.
Right, no, you're right. And I think, like I said, older Dominican people need cannabis. Probably more than all of us. Like they're taking the calmantes, you know what I'm saying? All that shit. A lot of pills. And it's like, that shit is debilitating in other ways. You know what I'm saying? You could have this plan. You don't have to smoke, because I know you may not like smoking.
Yeah, you don't have to
have it
smoke.
this, you could have it this way, you could rub it, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's important too.
Yep. I just think, just like for us, it was eye-opening when we first started going to conferences and learning the 101s of cannabis, of shit that I smoked for years.
Right.
I smoked forever, sold weed forever, but I didn't know that what the health benefits that I was getting from it. You know what I mean? I just know that it made me feel good, right, for a long time. I know it helped me eat and, nausea and all this stuff. But I didn't learn all of that till I started learning about going to these conferences and different stuff, and I had to, we were searching for this information, right? Because it wasn't nowhere near where we come from, right? So we had to go search for it. So now I guess we're hoping to kind of just be that hub, right? Like, you know, where you could come bump into a lad and you could come bump into David, and there's, you know, you can kind of have this conversation and learn about the Cannabis 101s, right? Because people think, and the general public, not just Uptown, just the general public, yo, it's legal now, right? It's been legal for 2 years. It's legal. Okay, so fuck it. What they see is it's legal and a bunch of trap shops open and people could just smoke wherever they want and blah, blah, blah. Nah, there's certain shit that's you're not supposed to do, right?
Right.
Like, you're not supposed to smoke in public places, right? Where you can't smoke cigarettes, right? So if you're not allowed to smoke cigarettes in that outside area, you're not allowed to smoke weed there either, right? The same thing, like, you're not supposed to carry a bunch of weed, right? You could carry up to 3 ounces of weed on you. You know what I mean? You could have that on you. You could be fine. After that, that's up to you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just saying, there's some sort of like boundaries, you know, to the legalization, right? So, you know, I'm just hoping that people get to at least learn the 101s while we're there, you know?
Yeah, no, I think it's super important. You know, there's a lot of growth here, right? It's for everybody, right? There's so many things. Like, again, that little strip needs the help too, right? Because you have the pizza place like down the block, which is one of the dopest spots.
Which we love.
And then you have, you know, Mama Sushi and Dykeman Bar and all that.
So it's
that
Munchies
block,
Central.
you know what I'm saying? It'll be perfect. It's perfect.
Munchies
it's meant
Central.
to be. You know, if it just feels like meant to be. You know what I mean? And I think that we have the numbers. Like, let's make it count.
Lad, like, you, whether you believe it or not, you're an advocate because, you know, you amplify all these positive things that happen. You inspire people, show them what's possible. What projects that you've been a part of in the past, now organizations that, you know, that you're proud of that helps people's needs and dreams come true uptown?
I mean, I'm super proud of being part of the New York Latino Film Festival, right? So my brother Calypso Chinchilla.
Shout out to Calypso, man.
Shout out to Calypso.
I've been a part of that festival since it came back, like in 2016. You know what I mean? And Calypso's my brother. You know what I mean? So, you know, we work good together. So basically, I'm the director of social media for them. But, you know, it's more like when the festival, around the time of the festival, you know, I get really involved. And it's one of these important festivals, right? Because what I love about Calixto is, right, you know, you could complain, there's not enough Latinos, there's not enough black people in film and in media. Or you could do something about it, right? And that's what he does, right?
Nobody's coming to save us, like I said.
He don't bellyache, he make it happen, right? And I learned a lot, you know what I'm saying? It's always good to always be behind someone doing things, like learning from them, you know what I'm saying? And then always being able, like, yo, I bring something to, yo, Calixto, you know, you should have Afro-Dominicano. Like, a lot of people tell me, like, that I'm Afro-Dominicano's, like, PR person. But it's just, I love them.
We love them, too.
I love them as a band. So it's like,
me too,
I just
me
try to
too.
amplify them every I can. Yo, someone's doing something. Yo, like, for my brother, Marco Shalma from the Uptown Night Market, I used to, yo, you got to have Afro-Dominicano on there. You got to have them on there. He finally relented. He relented, and then they killed it.
Yeah,
and they go back often, you know what I'm saying? And they did the Land Night Market, and they also did the New York Latino Film Festival. We had a block party, and they killed it. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I like to share what I like.
Absolutely,
and it's
absolutely,
you know
absolutely. Listen, we love it too, man. We had them for our anniversary. Trust me.
Yeah,
You
no,
know
I was
what
there. I was there. It was dope.
They are people, man. We love it. We love it. And we've been. That's what we do. You know what I'm saying? That's what we get to do. Anytime we get to do events, that's one of like my favorite parts, that I get to kind of tap in to, like, people that we love, and, like, you know, and get to kind of like bring them into our event some way, somehow, you know? So we love this.
Shout out to them. I just went and seen them. They were doing a series where they were performing on the train, and I went with my daughter and my girl. Shout out to Z and Jorge, like the managers or whatever. Those dudes are, like, you know, they're representing the culture well.
Definitely. Those are my people. Those are my people. Those are my people.
Shout out to them, yo.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, I'm just a big fan of the whole team, man. You know, there's a lot of there's so much talent uptown on every level, you know, with music. It's just we got to use that. You know what I'm saying? If not, what is it for?
Yeah, man. I mean, we a couple generations in now. It's time to kind of, like, you know, highlight the brilliance, the smart people, because there's a bunch of smart, brilliant, hardworking people, talented people.
Yo, Dominican as a whole, we came from nothing, and then you know,
they only knew dirt roads, right?
Yo, my grandmother gave birth to my mother by herself. She was in Campo, you know, in Esperanza and in Cibao, and she told my grandfather, yo, I'm about to give birth. Go get the comadrona the next town over. By the time he got there, she was born, and my mother was born in the hills. And you know what I'm saying? Look at my daughter graduated from NYU, right? Like, that shows you that growth, right? Like that, because
crazy.
we're great people, right? And we just need the resources and opportunities because we come from places where we have to scrap for everything.
Oh yeah, we get in where we fed in. As soon as we in, it's over, right? Type of shit.
My brother. Let's go back. Like he just skipped over it real quick because he just mentioned it, but I can now give more details because I know a little bit about it. Dominicans in Uptown is such ultimate hustlers. He mentioned the Nutcracker story, but he forgot to mention that people made millions of dollars off of selling Nutcrackers.
Facts. Yeah, no.
Come on, my brother. But that's the ultimate level of a hustler, though.
Lines.
It don't matter what the product is; they just hustlers.
It was lines.
And that's why you have to give Freddie Imperial his credit.
Come on, Freddie Imperial.
Right, he's the Nutcracker king, right?
Nutcracker king.
Right, like you got to give that man his credit. He started Dominican USA.
Come on, his shit was crazy. His shit was crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Like you have to give that man credit. You know,
He's
you have
the
Pitbull.
originator.
He had Pitbull on 186. Like, yo, what up on 186 and Audubon? Like, yo, come here to get your Nutcrackers.
Come on, that's crazy.
You can still find that shit on YouTube. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
Like, so yeah, the Nutcrackers. But is that? Cause I have a film that I've been working on forever about the Nutcracker, like a documentary about it. But Nutcracker is like, it shows you like the hustle. Right? It's the epitome of the immigrant story. Like, I'm gonna take this fucking thing.
Millions of dollars off of Nutcrackers, David. Come on, brother. That's all hustle.
But think about this. Nutcrackers now are on every festival, right? From Pride to St. Gennaro's, you're gonna find someone selling Nutcrackers.
Slushies and this
right?
and that.
That's the. But that comes from that, right?
Absolutely.
From that hustle culture. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That's real shit.
Bro, that was crazy though, cause I used to go and cop Nutcrackers, because you know how that shit goes. There's only one spot that got the Nutcrackers. So if you're on the block, yo, I'm about to go get the Nutcrackers. Everybody's there. What happens, man? Yo, you got to get me one. So now you got to cop a bunch of Nutcrackers, and now you're going. But now when you get there, how big is the line?
My brother, it doesn't matter the product. I give you the part 2 of that movie. Then they did David Finding Nemo's a different slushy drink, and then made millions of dollars again. It doesn't matter what the product is. Some alcohol slushy.
Yeah, for real. And it was funny because Azad told me that the way the dude from the way it happened to the Finding Nemo's is. Because the slushy machine was broken, so it was different colors, and that's what they called it. And they killed it. That shit was, you know what I mean? Like, but that's hustle. That's what Uptown's about.
Yeah, man.
Led, also, y'all was mentioning earlier before we got on the podcast, because like I said, Ramon said, like, people just know all these negative connotations about Uptown. We need to talk about the positive and all the people up there. Y'all were talking about Apartment 78, the Que Lo Que parties. Elaborate a little bit of how like that was a whole movement and a culture up there.
Well, I'll mention, because I said this man has been in the loop for a very long time, right? Shout out to Tess, the mother of my child, right? She's a singer, right? So Led was already in the loop of anything that's happening with art, music, and all that stuff. So I'm like, yo, Led, it's Tess. Tess is a fabulous singer.
She's a dope artist. Shout out to Tess. She's dope.
You know what I mean? So it was like an easy shoo-in, right? You got him in whatever shows had to do with Led. And even back then, he was already organizing things like this. You know what I mean? So I'm just to give you of who he is.
Yeah, with the Win shit, when we did the Win shit was really big.
Shout out to Negro Claro. Shout out to Eldy.
Win was the Win. Break it down to me.
Shout out to Telly. Shout out to my brother Mike Jones. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Mike Jones.
And we came together like Voltron, and like we did this dope shit Uptown. It really started with Telly, right? And then Mike Jones came in early. You know what I'm saying? It was basically showcasing Uptown's hip hop talent. You know, and it was done in a sneaker store first. You know what I'm saying? And then we went to Negro Claro. When we did Negro Claro, that shit was in the Daily News. Shout out to Michael Feeney, rest in peace. He passed. He put us in. Basically, my text was the copy for the Daily News. You know what I'm saying? But he passed shortly thereafter. Rest in peace to him. But yo, one of Irv Gotti's brothers was there. Like, it was a magnificent night. It was about Uptown hip hop. Like, mad people performed that night. We had like 40 performances.
It was,
you know what I'm
crazy.
saying? And it was packed, and we was always doing that. And I think because it's important to show the community like what we got. And again, it was ill too. There was niggas from everywhere. It was niggas from everywhere. No beef, no fighting at all. Everyone was there to watch.
Everybody showed love, and he was always a part of something. You know, as something like this, right? You know what I'm saying? Something that's like either culture, peaceful. you know, the other side where we wasn't, you know what I mean? So we in the Underground Railroad over here, and this guy, you know what I mean? This is what's happening uptown, and this is, I was able to kind of see and tap into Led and, you know, all my friends from there, because, you know, Telly's our friend from back then, Mike DB,
Telly, Mike,
you know what I mean? So all these people
Mike's
are our
brother.
friends, and now, you know, we get to kind of like see them, and I get to see like Led again. So Led has always been in like this wave, right, of uplifting, like, whoever's like, whatever, you know what I mean? If you shaking and baking, let's do something. You know?
And I just always happen to be there. Like I go and I'm like, oh, this is dope. How can I, you know? And it just always works out in the way that we push it forward. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that's super important. Like, you know what I mean? I think we should bring Win back. You know, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to them. Like, you know.
Yeah, man. That was crazy, man. Because it what it did was, you know, and it was after our generation, because these are all the younger guys from uptown, right? Anywhere from 135th all the way uptown. It was different artists from everywhere, right?
Yeah, we had Dark, we had Ty Hayes, we had Boston, we had Audubon, you know, who had all the we had mad people
performing. Was there, you know, it was
Test
crazy.
Performed.
Yeah, it was
crazy. You know, we had singers, you know, we had like a whole movement, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Raina was there.
Raina performed.
It was crazy, you know.
The ILD niggas that used to come like 100
deep. Exactly.
Yo, ILD would come and just like, yo.
You know, so it was everybody. So the Chamaco from the 80s, you know what I mean? So it's just like everybody from every hood, and it was like, and it wasn't like a little bit. It was crazy packed. It was elbowed. You know what I mean? And it was like you said, it was all good because we all like we know what it is. Like you know,
some positive shit.
200 people couldn't get in outside. They were outside, couldn't get in. It was an amazing moment. But again, that's what it's about. It's about showing people that we could do this without bullshit. You know, without let's do it for the culture.
And yeah, you always been. You know what I mean? I think that's what we're highlighting today. You know, we're making sure that we highlight the fact that you are a historian, brother, and it's important because we talked about it before the camera started rolling. You know that a lot of the culture will die out. A lot of people have died. A lot of people and their families are probably no longer. You know what I mean? So it's like their stories will die out if people like us and you specifically that've been doing this don't get highlighted, bro. So, you know, we appreciate you. You know
Likewise,
what I'm saying?
man.
And thank you, brother, because at the end of the day, you are a part of our culture at the end of the day, bro. So we definitely need you.
Listen, man, that's what it is. And, you know, it's easy because you in it and you do it all the time for it to be normal. But we're here to give you your flowers because without you, a lot of these modern generation wouldn't know about all this amazing history that happened uptown, and that shit is so important because, like you said, like he said, like we're the last elders of the village. If we don't tell these stories dies with us, and you have been amplifying voices like ours, voices of all these different movements, and you know, thank you, man, because that's important.
Yo, no, I appreciate it, man. And like I think, like in certain ways, right? Like my mom, you know, when she came from DR broke, right? She was like the numbers person. So she had a job, so she was a super, right? And then but she ran the numbers like in
the numbers, kid.
Out of the department, right? And so
El palé, la vaina.
But what's funny, right? Because that was her recreating community in my apartment every Sunday. You know what I'm saying? Because people come from everywhere because they're not just playing numbers, right? Based on their dreams, right? But they will come in and have my mom will make mondongo. I hate mondongo for that reason because every Sunday she would make mondongo and I smelled to hate that shit. But they will come to have the mondongo and to play the numbers. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it was a way of like, yo, we're in this cold, hard land, but we still got DR.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because these people were pioneers, right? There was no Dominicans, you know, when our parents came here. Ooh.
On the Munchies, brother. Come on, man.
Oh, my God.
Keep going, lad. Don't let me stop you. I just got the Munchies.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
You can just break, you can have whatever you want.
I can have a whole shit. This is huge.
Yeah, you can just break some. You know, we can try it.
I'm gonna try this shit. Look delicious.
So you got in the group for the numbers. You know, right in Palais.
Yeah, and I mean, it was her creating culture. You know, creating a space for people to come and spend time together and come and talk their dreams, right? Literally, the numbers are based on people's dreams.
Definitely.
Right?
Yo me soñé con un gato y un palo. Eso es el 47.
Right. Me soñé con Fefita. En un patio. And you're like, oh, that's a 37 and a 45. You know what I'm saying? But it was more than just numbers. It was about people coming together, having sancocho, telling them about their week, you know what I'm saying, and commiserating breaking bread, you know what I mean?
Yeah, people had a moment, man. People love, that feeling, man.
And so that's what I try to recreate with the Uptown Collective. It's like, yo, this is a place for people to come together, and that's why it can't be just online. Like, you have to be virtual and visceral. Right? I'm online, but I'm also in person. You know, let's talk. And that's important. You know what I mean? So that's why the events. That's why the smoke signals. That's why you do the wins. You know, to like, yo, let's come together. We're not that different. We need each other.
1,000%. Because if we don't support each other, who will? If we don't give each other our flowers, who will?
100%.
Lad, I got the $1 million question for you that we ask every guest,
Okay.
and you being the scholar and culture historian that you are, I really want to hear what your opinion is and how you see it. If you had to describe Happy Munkey in one word, what would that word be?
Trailblazing.
Trailblazing.
I've always told you that. I've always told you that.
Say that. Say it.
I've
say
always
it.
said it. It's like y'all was so ahead of the curve from the beginning. Right? From the beginning, there was a difference. This is not just selling you weed. Right? It's not just weed. It's something bigger. And I always saw that, and like I told y'all before, like the idea of hospitality. What person selling weed thinks about hospitality? But y'all. Right? Like, how do I feel? Right? Because when you can make someone feel something, what's better than that? You know what I'm saying? Y'all been pioneering that from the beginning. And that's why I see the evolution. It just keeps getting bigger. So I'm excited to see what y'all going to do, man.
Listen,
and I'm going to be there watching and documenting.
Like you said, we had a tough choice to make. You came to see us when we were downtown. We've been downtown the whole time. So when we had this Manhattan license, had the option to go downtown.
The stars aligned.
Just chase the money and chase the shiny things. And then we've been saying for the last 6 years, we do it for the culture, not the clout. And that was the big test. And we chose the culture because if we don't go to our communities, like you said, who's going to care more than us?
Right. And who should benefit from that money more than us? Right? Keep those uptown dollars uptown.
We missing anything, Mr. David, over there, man? You been a little quiet in this one.
No, I've just been listening. I'm telling you, this last 3 weeks have been Discovery Channel for me. What you guys think of the cookies?
They're delicious, yo.
The cookies, yeah.
Chip City.
Yeah, they,
I don't know what they putting in these cookies, but
here, so me and my man.
I don't know what they putting in these cookies, but
yeah,
man, they got me breaking my whole diet out here. I can't have these cookies around me too often.
Delicious.
And just talking about Munchies, Led, I was curious, you're like the Uptown King. Where the Munchie spots at? Where the old school, the ones that have fallen and no longer around, and where are you currently getting your Munchies at?
All right, so I'm going to tell you some of my spots. For like my favorite Dominican spot is called Lina. It's on 207th between Post and Nagel. And that shit is old school, right? They don't got a credit card machine. The most fancy shit they got a jukebox that does take credit, like, debit. But it's old school, right? It's still moderately priced. 'Cause even Malecón is expensive now. Malecón is great. But
right next to El Tina.
Yeah, but right next to El Tina, it's owned by two brothers, and their father used to own a spot in the Yacht called El Pez Dorado. So they go back to the Yacht. And they make Dominican food, but people don't realize there's a lot of Chinese influences in Dominican food. Because you have Chinese people, a lot of Chinese people that went to, so they make their pepper steak in a way soy sauce they're using is really, so they have a way of cooking that has Asian influences in there. But it's not fancy. It's just, I've been there, I've been going there for years. They've been around since like the 90s. The 80s, I think. I've been in that place where I'm eating, I'll see someone order something, go outside, have a fight, because it's right there until 7. Come back after the fight, get their food and leave. They don't leave without their food. That's how real it is. But it's one of my favorite spots. Yeah.
I like that. Because I fucks with Lina.
Lina's is the shit. It's just amazing Dominican food and not mad pricey either. Everything's mad expensive. But Flor de Mayo's uptown now, which is super dope. Flor de Mayo's right next to United Palace. That's really crazy. Dope. And they just got Nutcrackers too, because for a while they couldn't sell Nutcrackers. They couldn't sell. There was some type of league.
Now it's lit.
So I was going over there yo, what's up with the? No, we don't have it yet. But now they got the Nutcrackers, and there's a frozen Nutcrackers, which is delicious. So,
oh man.
So Flor de Mayo. What else, man? There's so many dope spots, man. I live in the 180s, so I go to 181 Cabrini. It's just like a low down little bar, but it's dope because it's just good food. You know what I'm saying? Good food. You got TV, watch sports. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of dope shit uptown. North End. right across from the precinct. You know what I'm saying? There's so much dope shit happening uptown. There's like again, I think y'all gonna bring a new vitality to the Dykeman Strip. The Dykeman Strip is dope too. You know, there's a lot of shit happening uptown, and I think it's only gonna get fly if we stay together and we support shit we want. You know what I mean?
For me, I'm happy that the stars aligned that way. You know, I know there's all these calculations and all this shit, but you know, I go with my intuition, and the stars just aligned back home, and I'm happy to go back home, and I just can't wait, bro. I can't wait. I can't wait to be able to collaborate with people. You know what I mean? In the right way now. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, no, man. That's what it's about. Like amplifying what we do, taking it to, you know, like we're better united, right? Like la unión, la fuerza está en la unión, right? Like that's real shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? And there's no reason.
Because look, even right now, we sharing ideas, sharing history, and you know that's how shit manifests, and we all become better.
Facts, man.
Yeah, man. Jordan, what you think?
Amazing episode. Like David, I've been learning this whole time. You know what I mean? Just
That's dope.
Even hearing about the riots, like I was probably like a year old when the riots happened. You know what I mean? So like I didn't even know about that shit until like now for real. Like I heard y'all talk about it here and there, but
yeah, no, that was different.
Now and hearing like that my man Lad documented that. I want to see those photos.
Well, I'm gonna send
yeah,
you,
man. Let I mean, there's a lot of historic moments that's happened, in New York since, right? You know what I mean? We got that, the blackouts happened in the '90s, and then 9/11 happened, like all those situations that happened. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy that, we kind of lived through all those eras, and now now we here and we able to kind of like just fuck it, bro. We lived in the moment, but now we here, right?
Another thing I forgot to say is the whole 40-ounce van thing that
40-ounce van.
That was a thing for a few years.
Shout out, but
big shout out to him.
Yeah, big shout out to him. That shit was a wave.
And all that shit was all uptown.
Shit was a wave.
40 used to do. Y'all remember being there like, yo, what? And again, that was one of those things that I happened to be there, and I was like, yo, this is amazing. Because those kids that came, they weren't from there, from the hood. They were from everywhere. And through social media, there's motherfuckers moving people across the city. The 40-ounce bounce. I was like, and then most of them were uptown. You know what I'm saying? Somewhere from 125th. You know what I mean? I saw one of the first ones I saw was it was on Inwood Hill Park, right? But the Inwood Hill Park, you really can't do shit there because they got the park rangers. So right there, they shut it down. But yo, just through that, they changed it to Dykeman Fields. Yo, and it was bugged out. Like hundreds of people came to Dykeman Fields, and then when they left, they all laughed, and it was like, yo, what just happened?
That's crazy.
I've been hearing about that 40-ounce. I mean, shout out to him.
Shout out
he's
to
a
him,
homie,
man.
He had a wave.
Shout out to all the, there was a lot of moments uptown, man. Shout out to La Marina, right? Shout out to the behind G-Dubs, right? You know what I mean? When shit was crazy.
Yeah, for real.
You know what I mean? Shout out to all these things that, it made uptown. You know what I mean? Like the shit was crazy, my nigga. Like it was a good time, man. I think everybody did have a good time and still remember those moments, and we or at least we're here to make sure that people don't forget those moments, right? So fuck it, man. We here, man.
Dykeman basketball tournament. Shout out to Mike Jones and his crew.
So,
that became a big wave.
You know what I mean? Look at Mikey now, right? That shit is popping, bro. He made that a real thing. That shit is popping. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. For real. Because it used to be the Rucker, and then Dykeman took it to Dykeman. It's Dykeman now.
Mm-hmm.
I guess just before we end it, Led, where can people find you?
Oh, Uptown Collective. On Instagram, Twitter is Uptown Collective without the E. So Uptown Collective. My personal is Led_Black. And like I said, I run also Little Dominican Republic. I run Northern Manhattan Arts Alliance, and I also run West Harlem Development Corporations. I don't run them. I run their social media. So I do their social media. So that's one of my side hustles.
Led, man, this has been a vibe. I'm really honored
to
have you on here.
Love that.
And for everybody out there, I hope you saw my man gave you $1 million worth of Uptown history and, culture and arts. And, we really, honored to have you here.
Likewise, brother.
And, we supporting whatever you got going on. If you want to do anything Uptown, like my man Ramon says, this is the guy to talk to. My man's
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
has the plugs plug when it comes to anything uptown.
Thank you, brother.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Thank you,
Absolutely, man. It's always a good time, my brother. Like I said, man, and it's easy when it's a friend and somebody who supported us. So it's easy to kind of do these conversations. You know
This was
what
a
I'm
lot of
saying?
fun, man.
Yeah, man. And
Definitely.
just remember, it's been a long time, right? Just think about it like this: where it was moments where you couldn't even write a blog about us, right? And now we talking right here.
And it's funny because I wanted to write about it, like, yo, I don't want to be the person that ruins this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I be that guy. Like this guy, my picture be like the guy that fucked up Happy Monkey. I was like, nah. So I was really scared to write that, you know what I'm saying? But I'm glad the way the trajectory is amazing.
Shit happens, man, and now we here, bro. So now, man,
Your vibe attracts your tribe, like we just said.
That's right.
For everybody out there, remember you're too blessed to be stressed. Things will get greater later. Always choose happy. Stay in tune, and we'll be coming soon to a theater near you.
Hold on, what happened to the don't steal part? What happened to the don't steal?
Every time, guys, switch it up, man.
Keep it real, don't steal. What happened?
We gotta switch it up, but you expect that. You know, we gotta keep that.
That was dope, man. Thank y'all.
Nah, man. Thank you, brother. I learned so much on this episode.
Thank you, man. Thank you, bro.
Yo, that was good, man.
What's going on, man?
That shit's like one of the most organic joints that just flow.
But those cookies were really good, too.
Yeah.